Hey there, folks. My name is Steve Rennie, and I am the Ren Man. For the last 36 years, I've been working in this crazy music business, and I've gathered all kinds of experience, which I decided to share with young artists and music professionals like yourself. So about 2 years ago, I started a website. It's called RenmanMusicandBusiness.com. It's a wonderful resource for advice and counsel and interaction with people that are working in the music business, some of the smartest, most talented people around. One of the things that we pride ourselves around here is we have this saying. It's called, you don't ask, you don't get, and you don't learn anything. So we had a little part of our website called Ask RENMAN, where it gives people like yourself an opportunity to ask a grizzly old veteran like myself any question you have on the music business. So let's go ahead and ask one of the questions, or answer one of the questions that was asked last week. It's a band called Akerai. They're from, or the username is Akerai. They're from the UK. The question was, how do I convince my band members to gig? It's a rather lengthy question, so I'll give you just some of the highlights here. The band has been around for about a year. They self-released an EP last year. They made a YouTube video for that's had 15,000 views. They got a few thousand views on their SoundCloud channel as well. They played some festivals, big rock festivals in the UK and Europe, and all of this after they had put out their EP last year. The issue, it appears, is that one of the band members in the group is refusing to play gigs unless you're getting paid £1,000 a night. Part of me loves that idea, by the way. He also wants to change their approach to releasing music. He wants to focus more on social media and the like. He wants to focus on networking and releasing their music to blogs and other avenues besides just releasing it on the web. So those are the issues that are happening there. And I thought it was a good question because it brings up some really big picture ideas here. You know, I think one of the things that is difficult for people is that there's so many little decisions that happen along the way in the music business that it's easy to get lost in the details. When that happens, I try to focus on things from a little bit broader perspective and look at it from the big picture side of things. And there are a couple three big picture concepts I think that are at play here. The first one is this idea of picking your target, understanding what it is you're trying to do and where it is you're trying to go. Once you have that in mind, it's easier to figure out the rest of it because that will dictate your strategy and so forth. There's another big picture idea, this idea of picking your partners. If you're in a band, it starts with picking your creative partners. If you get that right, then you'll hopefully be able to go out and pick some professional folks to help you take that music and turn it into money. And the final big picture thought here is this notion that you have to be flexible. You have to be in a mindset to innovate because there are no tried and true answers in the music business. While it would be nice if there was a checklist or a one-size-fits-all approach, the truth is it'll be different for everybody. What worked today might not work tomorrow. So getting your mind in that idea that you're going to keep trying stuff until you find something works is important, right? So let me give you some thoughts on what's going on here more specific. If I were giving advice to this band today, I'd tell them the first thing you got to decide on is your target. If your target is to be the greatest band in the world, then going out and writing with other people, producing other projects is probably not the best path to do that. If your goal, whether it's as a band or as solo members, is to do something beyond the band, that'll dictate a certain path there. The most important thing I'll tell you is particularly true for a band because I've worked with them for years, is the band has to share a similar vision. You have to be in agreement on the targets out there. And if you're not in agreement on those targets, all the smiling and glad handing will not hide that fact forever and things will come undone. So you guys need to figure out what your target is and be honest about it. Number two, at the core of the music business are great songs and great performances. The best way to make those songs have value is to get them out as widely as possible. And so I agree that just putting out records for the sake of putting out records is not a great end game. What you need is a record label. You need money, you need expertise, you need infrastructure to get those songs to the level where they're on the radio, they're on TV, they're in licensing opportunities. And that means getting a major label. It means getting a team on board here. But it all starts by you guys continuing to make music. how you get those connections is part of this whole networking and social media world that we live in. Networking is one of the most important things that you can do when you're a young band, because you need to make connections with those great managers. You need to make connections with the agents that can get you gigs, the promoters that'll pay for those gigs. You'll need those connections to get to a publisher or a record label to raise those songs and to give you some assistance in raising those songs above the din with all the other stuff out there. So networking is a great idea, not at the expense of everything else, but as a tool to get you to the next level. I'll also tell you that you need to keep playing gigs, because playing gigs is a way to get those songs into performances. And those performances, live performance, can mean lots of money, but they're also a wonderful promotion tool while you're trying to make some things happen out there in the world. We talked about this idea of big picture. I want to share something with you here today. We had a web series called RENMAN U we did last year. It's my insider's guide to today's music business. It was my attempt to give you a little bit more academic approach about everything you need to know about the music business to succeed. It's a great starting point and something I would recommend to all of you folks here. I would also say that you should pay particular attention to lesson 2, which was about the big picture, where I talk about so many of these big picture concepts of dreaming and doing and fuck the gatekeepers and picking your partners and picking your target and getting a plan, which is all important stuff for people that are looking to do something big in the music business. Okay, that's my advice today. For all you folks that are just tuning in, if you liked our video, I hope you'll click like down at the bottom of the page. I hope you'll share it with other bands or friends that are interested in the music business. I hope you'll subscribe to our channel. The more the merrier. And then finally, I hope you'll post your comments below to give, I'm interested to get your opinion on all the things we talk about here at RENMAN MB. So that's it. Remember, if you don't ask, you don't get, and you can't learn anything. So keep asking and keep learning. We'll see you again soon.